We are Cambridge Wedding Cars. We're a family business, been established about 8 years in the Cambridge area. We've got a large fleet of cars, one of the largest fleets in Cambridge of about 25 vehicles. The size of the vehicle is quite important. Brides are always concerned whether they're going to get the dress in the back of the car. Most of the classics are smaller, unfortunately, than the modern cars. Modern cars tend to be more roomy, and if you put a modern Bentley next to the classic, you'll see a huge size difference.
A lot of wedding venues and churches were designed and constructed a long time before the motor car was even with us, so they don't have the biggest access, and a lot of our classic cars, especially our classic Bentleys, they are very large vehicles that can't access these older locations and university locations in the middle of town. So what we would offer on venues of that sort is our older Jaguars, which are much smaller classic vehicles. You still get that classic experience, still draws the crowd like the classic car does, but it's much more user-friendly and it will access anywhere in town. Another consideration is luggage space. Again, with the classic vehicles, they don't have the large boots that some people need. If you've got people in your wedding party that travel a long way, then they may well have luggage with them that they will need with them throughout the day.
With the vintage cars, is if you're carrying children as well, isn't it?
Oh yes, the seat belt often gets overlooked. So with a lot of the classic stuff, especially the post-war, they don't have seat belts. So if you're looking to have children travel in the car, again we would suggest using some of our newer vehicles which have got all the seat belts in, and we're happy to put car seats in the cars on the day to make sure the children can enjoy the ride and experience as well.
I mean, things that are important are whether there's going to be additional charges for example, for champagne, for ribbons, additional time if you run over the time, or whether you need to think about whether you need extra time for the photographers. Many couples will say to us that they only need the car for a couple of hours.
It soon adds up. Photographers often need longer than they say, so again it's a conversation always to have with your photographer, and in turn the wedding car company when you're getting your price doesn't include time for photos.
Yeah.
It's a real consideration.
And dressing the cars as well, we like to give the couple the option to match the theme, so we'll dress the car in any colours. The first thing we need to establish with the brides is really how many...
The logistics of the day, really.
And how many are in the party, the wedding party. If there's just looking just for one trip to the church, one car is obviously more than sufficient. But if they want to move bridesmaids and other family members back and forth to the church, again, not a problem, we can use one car, depending on location of the church, how far apart they are from the pickup points, because obviously timing is of the essence. In which case then you can end up with more than one car.
But one of the benefits of using Cambridge Wedding Cars is because of the size of our fleet. If there were to be an issue with the vehicle due to the age of it, we would have an alternative vehicle arrive for you on your day, so you would never be let down. And because of our fleet of technicians as well, because we do have a car garage as well, the cars are maintained cosmetically and mechanically to a very high standard, so there's no disappointment when the car arrives. A lot of people tend to operate on 18 months. It really depends on what you're planning for your wedding. Before you book the car, the pieces you need to put in place are the venue and the church. And then once you've got those booked and confirmed, then you can start to think about transport.
I think one thing as well though that is important is if there's a particular car you want from the fleet, then the sooner you book it the better, to guarantee you're going to get it.
Here we have our 1947 Bentley Mark VI, very popular with the brides, one of our most popular cars. It's liked because of its size. It's a very large vehicle. It's got a huge cabin space inside with luxurious seats, so it's very comfortable, very spacious, and also got a very large boot. So it's a really capable vehicle for the wedding with classic Bentley designs. It's the first Bentley to come out of the factory after the Second World War. So it really is a historic vehicle, and the looks are iconic. And here we have one of our modern Bentleys. This is the Bentley Arnage Turbo. Very popular vehicle. It's very large, so it's a very flexible vehicle, so you can use it for bridal parties, you can take all the bride and groom in the vehicle, you can have it for bridesmaids. It works well as an additional vehicle to accompany one of our classic Bentleys because the colours are very complementary.
Here we've got our Jaguar E-Type, silver with red leather. It's a modern colour, so the brides and grooms like this car. It's quite retro with this design. It's from the 60s, iconic car. One of the best cars of its years. Even Pino Ferrari says that it was more elegant than his own Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean, in the last 12 months we've noticed a real shift from modern vehicles to the classic and vintage. They're very fashionable. The newer vehicles are very nice, they're very luxurious, they're performance vehicles, but when it comes to your big day and you want the wow factor, the classic car will always draw the bigger crowd. So that shows because we're seeing a real drive in people wanting to drive the car themselves, so an uncle, a father, somebody wants to actually do the driving themselves, and again that's because they've always had a hankering for that vehicle. It's been on their list of vehicles they've always wanted to either own or drive, and there's many options on how it can be incorporated. For the bride, we can obviously pick you up from your house or the hotel and take you to the venue. We can then include a drive after the ceremony, which will give you time to spend some time with your new husband. Also, it just means it allows more time for photos, because if you've got a passion for that car or you want the classic pictures, you still need that car there on the day. And also, you mustn't forget about the groom. The groom may want to arrive in style to the venue as well. The groom can go